I said it's on mine. It's fine. Go. It's live.
Okay. All right. Well, hello, everyone.
Wait, now give people a few minutes to log
I'm
in.
looking at people who are logging in. Thank you. How are you? Waiting for people. Let me know as you log on where you're coming from. Would love to know where you're logging on from so that we can. I'm not seeing the. Okay, there we go. Hi, beautiful lady yourself. How about that? Hey, Loiso. How are you? I'm going to see you guys soon. Greetings from Kingston. It's Terry. Lagos is in the house. Kingston is in the house. California is in the house. Nigeria is in the house. Florida is in the house. England is in the house. Georgia is in the house. I love this. Hello. How is everyone doing? Hello from Ghana, West Africa. Amsterdam is in the house. I'm loving this. Bap, bap, bap. Yes. I want to come to Jamaica, Terry. You should get someone to bring me there. Get a church to bring me there. Okay, here we go. We are waiting for a few people to log on. Okay. Hope Temple. Hey, hey. Amiel. Don't you have a birthday? Happy birthday. Yes. Everything Yuri. Yes, I know what you mean. I have had a long day. Started with church. Did everybody go to church today? Church was amazing. Worship was amazing. Bahamas is in the house. I'm loving this. Keep telling me where you're from. I can't wait to get to Rivers. I'm headed that way Tuesday. Sisters of Africa conference, here I come. I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting. It always is. You know, Rivers has impacted my life in a huge way. It actually birthed my music ministry. When I came there and Adrian was throwing down on the worship, I said, I have to have this in Ghana. And I came back and formed Relevance. So that is how my music ministry started, was spending time at Rivers and hearing the amazing music that was coming through the ministry of Adrian Shannon and all of the singers at Rivers, an amazing church. Guys, you should just log on and just check out their church. It's pretty amazing. Let's see who else is in the house. We got all kinds of people in the house. Oh, Lakeshore Church. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I am coming to Chicago. I'm doing the Diva conference at Park Community Church. We're using their venue, which was my old church when I was in Chicago, in October 13th through the 14th. So if you're at Lakeshore, come on over to. Oh my God, I can't believe this, John Urban's daughter. I feel really old now. But good to see you on. Spread the word. I'm coming to Chicago. Oh, we got somebody in Abuja on. Let me see Facebook and YouTube people. Where are you signing on from? You're watching, but you're not saying anything. I want to know where. Yes, of course I do. Of course I remember them. That's why I said I'm feeling old, that you're their daughter. My goodness. Um, let's see who else is. Can you turn on the air for me, please? Air conditioning, huh? I'm in Ghana, y'all, and I'm sweating. I'm sweating. But I wanted to come on today and just talk to you about going through changes, because I feel like so many people. There's Adeline. Hi, how are you? There's so many people that are going through shifts and changes in their lives. And I think that some people are getting paralyzed, some people are energized, some people just don't know what's going on. And I am definitely one that believes in being. Hi, Ron Baker Jr. I love you. Oh my goodness, it's good to see you. Hi, Junie. How are you? All these amazing people that I know and love are signing on. And I just really wanted to come on to talk about change. I wanted to encourage you. And tell me, what are some of the changes you're going through? Let's have like a back and forth dialogue about this for a little while this evening, because I feel like there are financial changes, there are professional changes, there are physical changes, there are lifestyle changes. There's a lot of changes going on in people's lives. Some people are making a decision to move elsewhere. Some people are trying to make a career shift. Some people are deciding whether they should stay in a relationship or get out. Some people have experienced sudden loss in areas, and they're a little bit, um, shocked and appalled by that unwelcome shift and change in their lives. And I just want to tell you that all change actually is good. It might feel bad at the time, it might feel uncomfortable. Hey, sis. Hi, Natalie. How are you? Transitioning. Yes, exactly. That's the word. Some of us are getting older. Some of us are moving into parenting. The parents, not that you're their parents, but you're now caring for them. The roles have reversed. And that can be a little bit, um, unsettling, because there's a part of you that still wants them to be your parents, but now they need your assistance. And so there's a whole mind shift that has to happen in our approach to how we deal with them. Yes, physical changes. Someone says, I'm going through a deep healing post complex abusive marriage. I think effects of it are attempting to affect my health. I'm doing some deep healing, spiritual and financial repair to prep to get a home. Good for you. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I was so close to my mom. Now finding myself is different. Yes, you see, everybody has different issues that they're going through. And it's really important for us to not um, go into denial about it, not allow it to paralyze you, but to really seek the face of God for the correct energy to really be able to navigate through those changes. And so I just wanted to come on and ask you, where are you in the process? How do you feel about it? I just wrote a new book that's coming out September 12th, called When Shift Happens, Say Yes to Your Next. Because I believe guests have arrived in my home, and now all the dogs are barking. Can you get the dog? Thank you. Huh. What is happening around here? This is a change, right? I had peace and oh my gosh. I had peace and tranquility, and now I've got chaos in the house. How do you handle that? Okay. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yes, when shift happens, because shift happens, life happens, shift happens. And as you can see, we were having this perfectly calm conversation. The door opened and the dog started going crazy. And I could have let it rock me, but I'm just flowing with it. You understand now? I mean, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. I call it divine disruption. Okay. Sometimes you're going through an emotional health change, healing and all. Yes, I see what you're talking about. But here's the thing. What are your options when change happens? Remember when we went through COVID and all of a sudden we found ourselves in lockdown and everybody felt helpless? They were like, what do I have to do? I'm stuck in the house. Go out. I'm going to be calm through the change that there was no one in the house and now there is. Okay. Yes. Can you not do that? Thank you. Hey, baby. So, oh, it's my baby. It's Mew Mew. Come, Mew Mew. Let them see you. You're so beautiful. It's my little goddaughter has come by to see me. Oh my gosh, she is getting taller. Talking about change. Last time I saw her, she was down and now she's up. See, all of these changes. But what we have to do is to be able to trust God. Hi, Alma. Come and say hi. My little sis came to visit me because they know I'm traveling. Say hi to the people.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone.
We're doing a talk about change and how people are going through changes. Like somebody said they're going through emotional health changes. Somebody's going through physical changes. Someone's lost a parent and they're adjusting to that parent not being there. And so we're talking about how do we navigate through changes when they happen, expected or unexpected. Some changes we plan for, and even when we plan for them, we're freaked out because we want change, but we're afraid of change because what happens in the middle of when shift happens, you'll notice on the label, I should have had the book down here, is a big if. There's a big if in the middle of shift. And the if is all of the unknowns. If I leave my job, what's going to happen? If I don't definitely have a new
conversation.
Yeah, right, Peter?
We're just having that conversation. Oh
if
my
I
God.
leave my job, what's going to happen? Will I go to a better job, or will it be worse than it was before? Or if I decide I want to be entrepreneurial and leave the safety of my safety net 9-to-5 job, what's going to happen? Okay. I'm a prophet. I'm prophesying to you.
Literally having this conversation.
Dare to take the leap.
Prophet.
Leap out into the unknown. To my internet. Okay, there's Mew Mew. Isn't she beautiful, you guys? That's my little goddaughter. She's such a cutie. So she's trying to figure out if she's going to let the dog touch her or not. But anyway, when you get to the place of considering change or being blindsided by change, the first thing you need to do is stop and acknowledge where you are. Spell it out. And I love journaling for this reason because, you know, sometimes when thoughts live in our head, they become magnified and they become actually a lot bigger than they actually are. But when you write it down, you can see the reality of what is truth and what is not, right? So after we've acknowledged what is going on, write down how you feel about it. How do I feel about this change that I'm going through? Then you've got to ask yourself, is my feeling accurate? And if it is accurate, what's the proof of that? What's my evidence? What's my evidence that this is really true? Because, and the reason I'm taking you down this path is because emotions come from a thought, okay? Sometimes the thought is not a true thought, right, Mew Mew? You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Say hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, dear, the dog. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, emotions come from thoughts, true or untrue. Just think about it. You can think about somebody not liking you and feel rejected and feel angry, right? Maybe it's not true that they don't like you. What's the evidence that they don't like you? Is it a fact or is it a lie? Based on the fact, your emotions are formed, which make your attitude come into being. And from the attitude, you start to make choices. You begin to vocalize thoughts. From the thoughts, attitudes are formed, and attitudes make us make choices and say things that then affect the outcome of what's going to happen in our lives. Write the vision and make it plain. Exactly, Terry. So these are some of the steps I want you to think about tonight. I'm going to be doing a conference in Chicago called the Diva Principle Conference, and the theme is shift. Within that day and a half that I'm going to spend with you, we're going to do a bunch of interactive exercises and coaching that's going to help you have clarity when you're navigating through change. We're going to talk about realigning your identity. Who am I at this time in my life? Because sometimes when shifts happen, it affects our identity, our sense of self, who we see ourselves to be and who we think others see us as, okay? And then we're going to talk about the power of choice and what making the right choice does and what making the wrong choice does. And how do we discern the difference between those choices? Then we're going to talk about navigating change itself, because there is a process for change. And it's really understanding the season that we're in and what that means for us personally, physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Okay. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to shifting and changing and redirecting and refocusing and reinventing. Now, many have called me the queen of reinvention because let's face it, I have lived on 3 continents and an island. I have lived in 2 states. I have been fired and rehired to the same job like twice. Not just once, twice, people. I have had the physical change of being hit by a car and navigating through recovery that took a year and a half after 3 surgeries. I've lost, oh, thank you. You like my locks? I'm trying, child. It's still coming. It's still coming. Then there's also, what else? I've been through so many changes. You know that song by the Emotions. We go through changes, changes we go through. And then there's also that everything must change, right? So change is inevitable, but how we respond to change is optional. And so I want you to know that no matter what change is happening in your life, that you always have options. Don't feel trapped by the change. Don't feel bound by the change. Don't feel like the change is overtaking you. You own the change. The change does not own you. So, what are you going to do with the change? What's in your hand? What can work for you right now? What are your options? When I got fired, I had a lot of options. Where else could I work? Where else could I go? Where else could I live? I moved to California for a year. Okay. Now I've got to say that I was so young and did not know myself enough. I did not know what was in me yet to take advantage of living in LA. Okay. So that's why we're going to do the self-assess at the conference, because I think that a lot of people are not aware of what's in them. I remember I've had a reoccurring dream for many years. About once a year, I have this dream, and I'm in my house, right? And in my house, I'm walking around, and all of a sudden, I open a door and realize that there's a whole section of this house I never knew was there, and there's like 10 other bedrooms and another living room and all of this stuff, right? And I'm like going crazy because I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know I had this much room. If I had known this, I could have done this, I could have done that. But now that I know it's here, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And so I start making plans for expansion in my life and how these rooms will work for me. Okay. Now, where am I taking you? I'm saying, I believe that that's God's way of saying there's more to you than what you're dealing with. The capacity that you have is greater than what you're dealing with. I want you to increase your knowledge of everything that I've placed in you. Increase your knowledge of who I am and what that means and how me being in you expands you and just straightens, stretches your capacity for more. I believe that God wants everyone to experience more. He wants you to have more. He wants you to do more. He wants you to experience his more for you. How do you do that? You do that by really just spending time with the Lord, first of all. We don't talk about this enough anymore. I mean, come on, saints. These are like basics. Spending time with the Lord, learning to hear his voice, strengthening your sense of discernment to hearing his voice. Okay, because the world is screaming these days. There's so many voices pulling us left, right, and center that we have to really activate and heighten our sensitivity to the voice of the Holy Spirit. He promises that you'll hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk ye in it." Now, during COVID, when I was in London and the borders of Ghana were closed and I couldn't go back, and I was trying to decide where was the best place on the planet for me to be, there were lots of things I started doing. I created online courses. I took a a coaching class and got my certification. I started I started a hangout on Saturdays online. There were so many things because I didn't get trapped in the I have to stay in the house. I I veered to the right and said I get to stay in the house. And the minute I said I get to, my options open. What can I do with my time? How can I utilize it? How can I take advantage of being stuck in the house? And now I wasn't stuck anymore. So perhaps your job has suddenly let you go. When my job suddenly let me go, I wrote a book. How about that? Okay. And it became a bestseller. We didn't even know about New York Times back at the time. All I know is that 12,000 books were gone in 3 weeks when my book came out. Why? Because I took advantage of having to sit still. Instead of having to sit still and heal, I got to sit still and heal. And because I got to sit still, I got to sit long enough with my computer to finish a book. You understand what I'm saying? Most changes in your life will be unwelcome or unexpected changes. And so you've got to be able to shift and go with the flow when that happens. When I first moved to Chicago, I used to ride the bus, and they would say that if you're riding the bus and you're standing up, don't lock your knees, because the minute that you get rigid, you won't be able to go with the flow. If the bus driver suddenly steps on the gas, you'll go flying down the aisle because you're locked in. But if your knees are loose, you will just sway and sway back into position. So I want to encourage you to open your minds to being flexible, not feeling trapped by your circumstance, but getting excited and seeing the options in your circumstance. The moment you do that, the world opens to you. And I'm going to leave you with one last clue, and that is your support system. What does your support system look like? There was a man at the pool of Bethesda who laid there for 38 years. He wanted change, but he never experienced change because of the mindset that was so prevalent around him. Everyone was stuck, and he stuck with those who were stuck. And guess what happened? They were all stuck together for 38 years. But let me challenge you in your thought process about that story. Did you ever wonder, did he go to the bathroom? Did he really lay there for 38 years? At some point in time, he had to move to do something necessary. So why didn't he move? Why was he waiting for the stirring of the water? Someone had to come and move him in order for him to eat, to sleep, to do a lot of things. So apparently he was moving, but he kept returning to the same place. He allowed the cycle to continue in his life because everyone around him was stuck, and they had all decided that this was just the way life was. They all wanted to change. They had positioned themselves near to a place that offered change, but yet never took advantage of the change. They were waiting for the waters to be stirred, okay? And yet, only one person could get a break every time the water stirred. Now, see, if that had been me, I would have been lying on the edge of that pool, and when that water stirred, I would have just flipped myself in. I would have drowned trying to get my change. How much are you willing to risk to get your change? The change you want, the change you need to take your life to the next level. I just want to stir your pot tonight and just ask you, what are you willing to do? What risk are you willing to take? You know, people who really succeed in life are risk takers. They take risks. The difference between two dreamers is one pursues the dream and the other one just dreams. Now, I'm hoping that I'm getting you curious enough to make you want to join me at the Diva Principal Conference in Chicago. October 13th through 14th. I think that we have put the link in the chat so that you can see all the details and register. You can join me for high tea before the event or just attend the event. And guess what? My band from Ghana, West Africa is coming to join me, and they'll be doing the music. for those of you who are in Chicago, for those of you who are going to be in Chicago, we're going to be at City Winery October 17th. So that's another way to see us. Relevance is going to rock the house at City Winery. And then the most exciting thing on top of the Diva conference is my new book coming out September 12th. So I want everybody on September 12th to head to Amazon and click that link and order that book so that we can make it a bestseller on the first day. All right. So I hope that you've been given enough to mull over in this little conversation about change. Change happens. Change will not just happen once in your life. It's going to happen several times in your life because change and seasons are cyclical. Okay. So just when you think you've gotten through one thing, something else happens. It's the process of life. And so knowing the rules of engagement for change are critical to you making those changes successfully. And on that note, I'm signing off for tonight. I just wanted to tickle your understanding and make you think and consider, how am I handling change? Am I navigating well? Am I afraid? What is my attitude toward change? How can I embrace change and make it work for me? Join me at the Diva Principal Conference, October 13th and 14th in Chicago, Illinois. Log on to michellehammond.com for more information or thedivaprincipal.net. I hope that I've given you some food for thought and that you're inspired to refire and not retire when change comes your way. All right? God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.